This is Black Nerd Power. On the KUDZUKIAN.
Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome one and all to the little show that we like to call Black Nerd Power, BNP if you're nasty. I'm your host, Mr. Richard Douglas Jones, and with me, the co-host of Black Nerd Power, Mr. Marcus Seaberry.
What's up, my nerd?
Oh, nerder, please. And Miss Kimber, what's happening, man?
Hey.
If you can't tell, we are kind of we're in a more somber mood this week. Normally, our mood tends to be more jovial, despite the things that we are facing. But quite frankly, I'm fucking tired. I'm tired, and I'm angry, and I'm tired of being angry. And to want to just scream and just punch and hit and just knowing that none of that shit will do shit, but I still want to do it. Like my muscles like ache to like. I can't explain it. I can't. And in the event that you've been living under a fucking rock, this has been a shitty week. Just a shitty Labor Day holiday started off. So with we let's let you guys want to start with New York Amy, or do you want to start with Mr. Floyd? Where how y'all want to do that?
You know, I struggle with going name by name a lot of times because like it just be so much compounded grief on top of compounded grief. 2 weeks ago, I started this show by naming off a list of names that have been lives that have been taken because of racism, and in most cases because of police violence. Hell, Ahmaud Arbery was still police because he's an ex-police. Once you in it, you in it. Yep. Once that mindset get up in you.
Yeah. All right. Let me see if I can paint the picture. All right. Monday, New York City, Labor Day. Man is black man.
Memorial Day. Sorry.
Yeah, Memorial Day. Because not only is this a black man, but this is like an extraordinary, like award-winning.
That doesn't fucking matter.
Literary, like.
What if he wasn't though? What if he wasn't? What if he was homeless and had a cell phone and was minding the fucking rules of the park?
Minding his own goddamn business.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, because I saw a picture of him. He's a big boy. If the cops had showed up, they were gonna fuck him up.
Yeah. You ain't got to be super nigga to pure to deserve not to get killed by the goddamn police.
So there's a woman in the park by the name of Amy Cooper who's there.
A white woman.
Yeah, white. Oh yeah, that was getting to that. White woman by the name of Amy Cooper. Please do not forget the name of this woman, Amy Cooper. And she's got her dog, and it's not on a leash. Rules are, you got a dog, it's supposed to be on a leash. He's there watching birds. He may not like dogs. He may be allergic to dogs. Just get your dog away from me. I don't care if your dog is a friendly dog. Get your dog away from me. I don't have to like your dog. And he said, put the dog on a leash because those are the rules. And there's a sign. And she decides to get on the phone and call the police and blatantly say, hey, police, there's a black man threatening my life. Basically, in that moment, she decided to weaponize the police and use them against a black man who was trying to get in her shit. Fortunately, the police did not show up, because we know what would have happened if the police showed up. Because a few hours later, in Minneapolis, Minnesota, a man by the name of George Floyd was basically executed on camera. He's executed on camera. He was not resisting. He was detained and handcuffed behind his back by police.
For a nonviolent incident.
Supposedly, he passed a a bad check, or he was supposedly being called for writing a bad check. That's why the police were called. Regardless, it's not something that you die over. The man was unarmed, and he was detained again, handcuffed behind the back, laid down on the ground. We really don't know why he was laid on the ground. He was laid on the ground where three, not one, not two, but three fully grown men put all of their weight on his body. One man in particular, Derek Chauvin, put his knee on Mr. Floyd's neck for the better part of 9 minutes. He was unresponsive when the medical team got there, and they pronounced him dead when he got to the hospital. If you know anything about ambulance drivers, if you know anything about hospitals, a lot of times they'll just load up the dead body and pronounce them when they get to the hospital because it saves them paperwork. If you look at the video, and a lot of people have, that man was dead weight, pun intended. He was dead weight. His body was completely unresponsive. Despite several pleas from bystanders to check his pulse and to check his welfare, regardless of countless pleas from Mr. Floyd himself to that he could not breathe. And people going back and saying, well, if he could talk, then he could breathe. Fuck you.
We've had that conversation before already.
Right.
Like Eric Garner couldn't breathe. He couldn't breathe.
If I feel like my life is at stake and I can't breathe, I'm going to expel whatever oxygen I can in an attempt to get some sort of relief.
I'm just refusing to engage stupid shit like that.
Same.
Stupid shit like, if you can breathe, you can talk. I mean, if you can talk, you can breathe. It's stupid shit like black on black crime. Stupid shit that has been debunked repeatedly over and over again by literal statisticians. Science. I'm not. Both of those are facts of science, and white people using their privilege to bring them up as arguments in larger context is just privilege at work. And we have a responsibility not to propagate it. Like, that's full on bullshit. Just know it's debunked and don't engage with it. What I feel like we have to engage right now is all our broken and wounded hearts. Like, there's enough shock and horror around this. What are we going to do with our hearts? Like, after we shock ourselves and remind ourselves of where we are in America and what America wants from us, which is blood. What do we do then? You know, it's crazy. I saw some pictures earlier this week on the 26th of May where Denzel Washington was outside of his car on Hollywood Boulevard, physically trying. In all the pictures is him and this man who looks like he's distressed, a black man who looks agitated and distressed. And you see the police engaging him. And then, like, if there are 6 of these pictures, 5 of them, in all of them where you see Denzel Washington's hands, his hands are most of the time he has a firm but like visibly supportive hand on this black man, right? Who's agitated and upset. And then in the other pictures, he has his hands tucked well behind his back. He's fucking Denzel Washington on Hollywood goddamn Boulevard with the paparazzi every motherfucking where. And his hand and the way he handled his hands just speaks to how much like
he knows
terror, how much terror.
He's like, I'm black first. I'm Denzel Washington, maybe fifth.
It's just you just all of those things and the fullness thereof at all the times. Like, we just contain multitudes all the time. And it's fucked up that Denzel Washington contains a multitude that makes him, like, in some ways cower before the police. Like, if I'm paying, in my opinion, if I'm paying that much fucking attention to where I'm putting my hands, I'm all but cowering, you know? And I'm not dissing Denzel Washington. It's just like, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. But it also is just the beauty of Denzel Washington, because y'all, his hands on that man where the way that he was like holding that man. He wasn't even holding him, but the way that he was like
literally
studying him and and like trying to like be supportive to him. It just was really incredible and beautiful. And I'm grateful to him for knowing that he was needed in that moment, because I don't want to imagine what would have happened to that man that we would not have heard about.
I believe the story said that he was out on the highway and Washington just kind of talked him down from the ledge. Of course, shout out to CNN anchor Omar Jimenez. Who was in the midst of all
we arresting the press now. We're
arresting the press on air.
Yeah, we just sending them to jail.
Just arresting the press. This man is a black Latino reporter who was reporting on the riots in Minnesota, and on the air, live on the air. The police arrested him. He said, no, man, I'm a reporter. I work for CNN. Here's my press pass. You see the mic. You see the camera.
They let the white people stay. They also, on the camera, you see the white people stay on the scene. Yep. And the police be like, why are you here? Oh, okay, you can stay. And like arresting this other dude. And the people on the camera are like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Yep. By the way, you're listening to Black Nerd Power.
This is so the violence and looting and things that have taken place in Minneapolis in particular. The 3rd Street police station has been burned. In Atlanta, there has been some property damage to the CNN building itself. Yeah, it's been chaotic. It's been chaotic and frustrating, and people are like, well, why are they looting? And it's just like, you got to understand, these are actions of desperate people. These are actions of people who feel like they don't have a voice. These are people who feel like they have been made to feel less than, because let's face it, that's what that means. To be black in this country means that whether you like it or not, you are relegated to second-class citizenry. And like we just talked about, there is absolutely nothing you can do to get out of it. Denzel Washington, well-known, award-winning actor. Tons of money. Don't matter.
Still a nigga. And that's the problem I have with people like Candace Owens and people like that, because fuck her too. And for those of you all that don't know who Candace Owens is, Candace Owens is the new Stacey Dash. Basically, she is the new black conservative talking piece that conservatives love to parade out whenever issues of race take place. And you know what I wish for her? I wish for her a nonviolent nigga wake up call, because it needs to happen. That's basically what's happening. Behavior like that comes from black people who subscribe to the illusion of inclusion. Catch the wrong cop on the wrong night who don't know who the hell you are, and you just nigga number 5, and you got the mugshot with the fucked up hair and the whole 9. So
I ain't wasting my time wishing that shit on that lady. It's too many men out here that could use it first. Fuck that. She alright. It's all, listen, Richard, at this point, the way that white people are acting in this fucking country, I don't have fucking time to be bothered or antagonizing another black person. Fuck 12. All cops are goddamn bad. Abolish the police state, nigga. Fuck Candace Owens. Richard, you say you ready to fight and rage and mad, and I feel you. Like, yes. But my vision on who I want to fight, like, it's not like my shit is laser focused right now. It is not niggas. It ain't no kind of nigga that's the problem right now. It ain't no kind of nigga right now that's the problem. This is white supremacy.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Seaberry, you've been quiet, man. What's up?
Man, just, I don't know, man. Because, you know, I'm always torn when people say fuck the police. Because, like, I straight up got, like, family members that police.
I do too.
But I get it. And just, like, the bullshit in the way Mr. Floyd was treated, man. It's like that shit was inhumane, and I'm just tired, man. And I concerned, worried. Like I said,
How about this? Fuck all the police except for the cops in Chicago that denounced that behavior. Like, what about like all right, cool. Let me get with the organized police forces. For example, like and like don't fuck the systems that need I'm excited about the systems that need the support of the police, but are willing to like explore other options. For example, they were talking about how the Minneapolis public school district has like severed ties with the Minneapolis Police Department, and they follow suit. Yeah, follow suit with the university, because like that's the kind of shit that is going to change. It is like policing in and of itself. Like, yes, we know people who are police, and yes, like I'm a Black Memphian. I'm a teacher who's a Black Memphian. The reason that that's important is because as a 35-year-old woman, you were told to be a police officer, a teacher. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. If you wasn't gonna go be a doctor, which I wasn't in the mood for. I don't like blood. You know what I'm saying? And so like that's just that. I know people who are police too. I have friends of mine who are married to police officers, and that's somebody who's married to a Black man. Like, you just empathize with that person deeply. But policing in and of itself is violent, and it was created in this country in order to be violent toward us. And we've normalized it into our system, and it's just not okay. That's why it's fuck the police. It is not fuck the police because fuck the individual police officer. It's fuck policing.
Yep.
And it's fuck every individual nigga that's invested in the institution.
Yep. Absolutely.
Every individual person invested in the institution of policing is fuck them. That includes me, Marcus. That includes me when I'm scared of somebody and I wanna use my womanhood to attract police attention. That can happen in your mind. We laugh about it all the time. Dave Chappelle, he got weed, right? But again, I maintain this ain't no niggas' fault. This white people. But that's why it's fuck the police, because policing is wrong. Oh, whatever, fuck them. He lucky I said his name. I like him though. I like Chris Rock. My bad.
Yeah, fuck the police. Seriously, like, again, I try not to say it because of those reasons, but no, fuck the police. If for no other reason, the lack of accountability. Like, fuck the police. Stop. Like, fuck you. Fuck your grabs at sympathy. Like, it's hard for police to fuck you. You volunteered for this shit, and it is still hard. It's hard for the police. It's hard for the police. It absolutely is hard for the police, and I ain't even got no fuck you for them on that, because emotions. Like, I'm feeling so many feelings right now, and I'm so deeply. And as a teacher too, like, I haven't been able to all the way like get my head around how. But as a teacher too, I empathize a lot with like policing and how it's been enacted, because education in America has been enacted in a similar way, right? And so like I feel that, but like, it's just like, the shit is terror. If you can make it not be terror, but you can't. So that's why it's fuck that. Not at all. Oh, 2 weeks ago, just 2 fucking weeks ago, we were having a conversation about Ahmaud Arbery. And that's the real thing. That's why. And the disconnect has been amazing. People are just like, well, why are there riots in Atlanta, and why are they protesting in Louisville? And it just,
Because this ain't an isolated incident. Like this been happening since 1865. Shit has been happening. Police been fucking with us since 1865. Since we stopped being 3/5, since we were 5/5 of a person. 1865.
Man, since we stopped being 3/5 of a person, I feel like in several people's eyes, we're a liability. You know, we're a problem.
Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Black Nerd Power, KUDZUKIAN Network.
R&R on Sports.
1968 Olympian Dr. John Carlos.
Oh man, it's an honor. They need to pick up their radio and tune you guys in.
There you go.
It's R&R on Sports. Keeping it real, right, and funky.
Mauricio Calvo, who happens to be the executive director of Latino Memphis. Welcome to Funky Politics, sir. How are you?
Great, thank you. You're having as much trouble saying my name as I do saying KUDZUKIAN, so we're even.
Hey, look, I'm good on that.
Reasonable people understand that a country is more than its leader. I mean, I love my home country, but I think people in Memphis need to count their blessings.
Funky Politics on the KUDZUKIAN Network. Black Nerd Power.
And we're back. Black Nerd Power, KUDZUKIAN Network. Just talking about shit that's going on in the world. It's interesting that I guess I can do a quick kind of tech talk blurb. It's interesting that this week we could potentially see one of the greatest technological feats in humanity and watch humanity show their ass at the same damn time in the same week. I'm of course referring to the SpaceX launch that's supposed to be happening a little bit later on this afternoon. If it is successful, this will mark the first time that a commercial space company has launched NASA astronauts not only into space, but they will get a chance to dock with the International Space Station. They've already done a test run, so they know the technology works. It's already happened. It's just a matter of, strapping those people to basically a big Roman candle and shooting them up into space. This could be a monumental achievement because it could usher in an era where space flight becomes more accessible to rich people. Let's just be real. Regular people ain't gonna be able to go to space yet. But yeah, I mean, that's cool, but like to talk about being up in the stars, but still on the ground, we fucking up.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody going to fucking space with these white people. I ain't got enough money for it.
I know. That's what I said. Look, at some point they will need janitors in space. And at that point, niggas can go to space.
I'm not doing it.
I'm not doing it either.
Go be fucking essential on Mars? No.
Not at all. Not at all. We've had that conversation. Yeah, no, let me get to the point where y'all get everything settled and then I'm coming. Because, they're like, no, the International Space Station will not be a tourist attraction. It will not be.
And I tell you what, Donald Trump taking any more money from NASA, which I don't even think he can anymore. Like, I think they don't have any federal money.
Yeah, I believe he has completely defunded NASA. Yeah.
Yeah, like, so if NASA doesn't get some money, capitalism will make it become a tourist. Like, it's depressing. Everything's depressing. Like, I don't believe them. They will definitely make the International Space Station a tourist attraction if they can figure out how to capitalize. They will, because money. Also, Elon Musk is.
I was about to say, I know Elon. The way Elon Musk's the way his mind works, he'd rather just build his own space station.
Mm-hmm.
He'd rather just get with Richard Branson and just build a space hotel.
And there you go. And make his the tourist attraction. There you go. Well, great.
Because
awesome, Eli. Awesome.
Right, because that's the thing. If you look at the International Space Station, it's raw and there's wires and shit everywhere, and it's
dangerous.
Yeah, it's dangerous, and by modern standards, it's pretty analog.
Great. Let's let Elon Musk go to space, make a hotel, and then become the broker who facilitates the deal between the space traders and Earth to get us all out of here. Shout out to Derek Bell.
There you go. There you go, making us a spacefaring species. Because
spacefaring. Did you read this? Y'all niggas, I can't believe every time I bring up the space traders and y'all haven't read it. It makes me so sad. They're gonna sell us all to. Yeah. I'm telling you, remember the space traders when Derek Bell? You telling me about it.
Yeah. Yes. You said they're gonna sell us off for same thing.
For clean air and the clean ocean.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, man. I want to talk about Life in the Stars because normally on a normal week, I'd be so geeked about this.
Yeah, it's hard to be geeked about much of anything.
It's hard to be geeked about and or have faith in the potential of humanity when you see the literal opposite.
You know what's crazy for me? The fact that the thing that I was looking forward to in terms of tech this week, all the shit that dropped on Wednesday for The Last of Us, the thing that I was looking forward to is my escapism art right now. And I've been this is the name of the game. I've been talking about escapism and escaping through books and games and stuff. And the game that I was looking forward to escaping through the content for this week is depressing as fuck. It's The Last of Us. The thing is, we feeling like the last right now. And so it was hard to enjoy that because it was so violent. And I already have a struggle with violence, but in the face of everything that I see right now is George Floyd's eyes bugging out of his head. And George Floyd's eyes bugging out of his head. And so, yeah, I just couldn't enjoy The Last of Us and rewatch it like I wanted to. What they dropped was about 20 minutes of gameplay. And some introductory material on IGN is what I watched. And I really enjoyed watching it. The cinematic trailer where you get to see Joel and you hear his regretful speech and you see Ellie making moves and doing thug shit. And then they had some gameplay, but I can't go back and 1/12 it like I want to because it's so violent and my head and my heart are already so full of real life violence. And so it's crazy.
Oh, Mr. Seabury, you want to talk about some comic books? What you got?
All right. So I guess the theme this week is badass black queens and one king.
Ow.
First you got that.
Look at her. She's so cute.
Yeah. Riri Williams. We had been talking about her on the last episode. I decided to grab a trade because I had never read all of her adventures. Written by Brian Michael Bendis, artist. Stefano Cassella is the main artist, and Marte Gracie is the color artist. Man, just really interesting just seeing, I guess, just the maturation of Riri Williams. And I guess her Obi-Wan is a Tony Stark hologram because he was a little banged up back then. And I think his real body was in a coma.
Right. It's in the new Spider-Man movie, it's like the Edith glasses.
Yeah. He was in the coma because of Civil
Far From
War
Home,
II.
not Homecoming. I'm sorry. Far From Home.
Yeah, Far From Home. So we just see, her going through things, fighting different villains, losing fights, working with Pepper Potts or Rescue and Tony Stark's long lost real mom who was over Stark, and there's even the incident where she kind of got caught up in the heat of the moment and temporarily became the ruler of Latveria, where Dr. Doom is at. And it's cool to see the way she got out of that. Just a good read, a cool character. Highly recommend it. And I decided to kind of bring this back, World of Wakanda.
Okay.
I had talked about the single issues a while back, but I recently got the trade.
It's Roxanne Gay, right?
Yeah, Roxanne Gay is one of the main writers. We got art from people like Afua Richardson, also Yona Harvey and Ta-Nehisi Coates write some things, and Rember Brown writes the last story. Just if you like the characters Ayo and Anika from Ta-Nehisi Coates' Black Panther run, this is them as Dora Milaje, different little time periods, in I guess in Wakandan history, like when Prince Namor flooded Wakanda and different things were going on. And it goes up to the point where they decide to become the Midnight Angels and kind of denounce the Dora Milaje. And there's also a little backstory with Casper Cole, who was Black Panther for a short period in the early 2000s. And you see him kind of come back into the fold. Good stuff. I really wish they had put out all these Panther spinoffs after the movie. Maybe they would have lasted longer. But good stuff. I think it's worth somebody picking up.
All right. Thank you. You're listening to Black Nerd Power on the KUDZUKIAN Network. Yay. Okay, Marcus, thanks. That's been a comic book corner this week. Kimber, what's been going on with you, man? Because you be reading this shit.
Yeah. But you know what? Actually, just like everybody else during the coronavirus, what the fuck actually I be doing is eating and shit. So this week I jumped into, as Marcus would say, the archives, and I pulled out this really great book that I had called On Food and Cooking. And it's just like an encyclopedia of food information. Like it really is like an encyclopedia. I got it a few years ago. And the reason that I dug into it was because I have been making shrubs, which are like vinegar preserved fruit syrups that you can put in the like sparkling water and stuff. I don't like to drink. Troy enjoys like a cocktail, but I like sparkling water and stuff like that. So I take the shrubs and I mix them sometimes in the cocktails for him, most of the time just in sparkling water for myself. So since it's a vinegar-based drink and I was getting into like mocktails, I went to my food encyclopedia on food and cooking and just really got wrapped up in all the descriptions. It's really exciting to after like having spent the last little while focusing mostly on what Black people have to say about American cuisine, thinking about like Ashante Reese doing her food histories and food geographies work, and Michael Twitty, who is a Black Jewish man who is doing, his exploratory work into our food history as Black American people and the descendants of people who were enslaved. I've been focusing on Black food culture and writing, but it was really interesting and cool to go back to like just white American, I guess, standard American food histories and food descriptions in that book, because that's part of my history too. That's part of my cooking legacy. And I feel like I have a lot of ownership over just America's cooking legacy in general as a Black woman. So that was enjoyable. I've been reading about aspics and what to do with goat's tongue and offal. And it's really been the only thing I can mostly focus on because, like I said, none of my little usual escapes are helping in the face of what's been going on right now.
So what's been the most interesting takeaway
from On Food and Cooking? Mm-hmm. That white people put mayonnaise and shit in places that it doesn't belong. And the reason that we don't know about like mid-century modern cooking, and like the reason that America's current food presentation is so diversified is because if we left it to the white people and the fucked up ideas they brought over on the Mayflower and had let that grow, it just be potatoes and mayonnaise. Like it's bad out here. Don't get me wrong. A lot of it is cool and scientific and interesting, and the chemicals and the taste profiles and all those things are interesting, and the texture mixes and stuff. But mostly that shit is nasty. Like shout out to the Browns, man. Shout out to the Browns. Shout out to the Browns.
Just crumbling herb.
Man, and definitely shout out to the Blacks, but shout out to the Browns. Yeah. Like, they saved us.
They were like, we're gonna try. We're gonna go try
Put
this.
these leaves in there.
Yeah,
put these leaves in
right,
there.
don't put the leaves in there. We're gonna try it. Did anybody die? Okay, we can put the leaves in again.
Get the shellfish out the sea, because they salty. All right. Get the oysters out the sea because they got salt in them. All right, y'all. Let's
So I want to back up for just a second. You said you got a chance to check out the gameplay for The Last of Us 2. Were you said, was there any of it that you were able to absorb? Was there any enjoyment to be had? Because
it was so violent and sad and dismal, and I don't want to.
That's the game. That is
the game is a heartbreaker.
Yeah,
it's a damn heartbreaker. And I'm gonna be real with what's going on right now. It's really hard to know that I'm gonna be able to engage in it the way that I want to. Like, eventually, I just said, "Fuck it." I've been watching and rewatching motherfucking Birds of Prey for the last 3 days. Okay. Like, that's what I've been looking for. Because you know what? Yes, it's amazing. Listen. Okay, one form of escapism that I enjoy is definitely like romantic shit. Another form of escapism that I enjoy is like angry girls beating up men.
Oh yeah, no. The point where she does the flip, when she does the flip and breaks his leg, I was like, "Ow!"
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
Usually, you guys, y'all know I'm like, so I don't know what it is. It's like I can handle like some levels of violence that I just really typically can't deal with. But you turn on fucking Kill Bill, I will watch motherfucking Black Mamba and Copperhead peel each other like a fucking grape. Do you understand me? I enjoy Birds of Prey. The hardest part of Birds of Prey for me was the table dance, which I know a lot of people in general can empathize with. So I typically skip over that part and the part that really fucked with me, y'all, was when the man was so afraid of the other man and he got up and let him make him participate in that. Don't be that nigga. I know y'all better than that, but I wanted to deliver that information to you. Get up and beat ass, because if it's you, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna die.
I don't care who you are, bro. Nah, I don't care who you are.
Yeah,
that ain't happening.
Also, so y'all know, I will go on air saying that my niggas ride for me. They've had to prove it, and so it's fine. But they've had to prove it, so it's fine. But like, that part of the movie was really hard for me, but it's overall really enjoyable because he gets what he had it coming. He had it coming.
He only had himself to blame.
Yes, so they
still
got
Black Tango.
It's true. So that was enjoyable for me. Birds of Prey.
This is normally the point in where we would give out awards, but I just fuck yous all around. I can't think seriously of like a single like a person that I want to shout out in all of this, except for George Floyd. That's our that's the RIP. That's the shout out. That's about as good as it's gonna get. Like, cause like Amy Cooper, fuck you. Like the dude that she called the police on, I forgot the brother's name, but he been on some real Rodney King, can't we all just get along type shit. And it's just like, nigga, shut up. Don't nobody want to hear that right now.
I know, because he was pleading for, I guess, social media not to drag Miss Cooper, and it's like, nah, dude, she could have took you out this world with her bullshit.
She killed you, nigga. She could have had you killed.
She gonna get dragged. She gonna take all this dragging.
Ride like a dungeon dragon, nigga.
What I want to
gave a dog back.
I think they asked for it.
No, they took it back. Yeah, no, they didn't.
I think they asked for it. But the statement that they released says she voluntarily surrendered it, so I get it. But I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. What we know about this black man, who, and I don't really know his name. What we know about this black man, who was in the park with Amy Cooper, is that
Michael Cooper, I believe, is his name.
Michael Cooper? Really? They have the same last name? Wow. So, he's affluent. He's well respected. He's well known, and like I understand him having the good sense and media training to make a statement that would distance him from whatever it is that he felt like would be beneficial to him. And that's a benefit of the doubt that I'm willing to give a black man in that circumstance that I don't have to give to white people and argue with your mammy.
Right. He's saying what he got to say to keep his job.
Period. He has a high profile. He has an already high profile. His profile is higher. And why would he be in the middle of the fucking coronavirus and gain notoriety instead of gaining more prestige? Stop. Yes, sir. Do your thug thizzle. Don't be no fool, okay? And do no Botham Jean stuff. But rest in peace, Botham Jean. But like he wasn't doing that. He already held that lady accountable. It don't do him no harm. It ain't no skin off his nose for him to make sure he come out smelling good like Condoleezza Rice, honey.
Right. Because please understand that people gonna drag her anyway, but he needs y'all to know that
I didn't condone this.
I ain't do this shit.
I can't help what my cousins did because I showed you what you did. I showed them what you said. I'm not responsible for how my mom and them treat you. I just told them what you did. But right. I don't condone it. I didn't tell them to come beat your ass.
Did not.
Yeah.
I'm looking for his name right now. I believe it is Michael Cooper, but don't quote me on that. I know he's a science fiction writer.
I know he watches birds. That's what I know. But I barely knew Amy Cooper's name.
He was a former Marvel Comics editor.
Christian Cooper. I'm sorry, it wasn't Michael Cooper. It was Christian Cooper. He's a former writer for Marvel Comics. He's responsible for introducing one of the first openly gay characters in a Star Trek comic book. His sister, who took the video, is a science fiction writer as well. But yeah, fuck yous all around. And to the people that were protesting, to the people that were marching, we love you and we are there with you. In Minneapolis in particular, to the cops that started the fires, because they've shown that it was police officers from St. Paul that started that shit.
That's ridiculous.
Wow.
And black people are talking about it, but nobody's listening.
Wow.
I've heard it mentioned on CNN one time.
Nope.
One time.
Meanwhile, motherfuckers talking about why they burning CNN? They got arrested. All right, fool. Stop thinking any of these motherfuckers on your side. None of them, bruh. None of them.
CNN got bosses.
And so what's real is, my niggas, no justice, no motherfucking peace.
No racist ass police. I think that's gonna do it for us this week, guys. What do you think?
Yeah.
You know?
Just fuck yous all around. Anybody got any plugs?
Nah.
All right. Well, shameless plug time. You can catch me on my Facebook page Thursday nights 9:00 Central for open mic or something like it. If you're traveling around in your car, put your Sirius XM radio to Comedy Central Radio. You can catch me there. I'm apparently in rotation now on Sirius XM. Yay me. But I think that's gonna do it for us this week, ladies and gentlemen. We are upset. We are frustrated. But more importantly, we're hurting. And you know, I tend not to get into those spaces, just not only not on the show, but just in life. But we're hurting. Like,
we're fucking tired.
This hurts. Like, I cannot stress enough to see blue lights in my rearview mirror. What that means to me.
It's unnerving.
Regardless of if I'm getting pulled over or not. I gotta ask myself, is this it?
Exactly.
Every time.
It's how it ends.
Every time I see blue lights, I have to ask myself and prepare myself. Because this might be it. And that's every day. It's every single day, 24 hours a day. That's something that is a real concern that me
and millions of men in particular, but millions of black people that look like me have to worry about on a daily basis. Daily. 24/7. Because they've shown with Ahmaud Arbery, you can be running, mind your own business in broad fucking daylight. And if they want to kill you, they'll kill you. Because that's what we're up against. We're up against an institution, a clan, basically, throughout the entire country. They all hide behind their little punk ass badges. And with those badges, they have carte blanche to kill people that look like me. And then blame it on me. My death is my fault for demanding to be treated with some goddamn respect. That could mean my death every single day.
You don't have to make a demand to get killed. That's the thing. You don't have to be like, what's sickening right now is that, one, you don't have to be making a demand to be killed. And then the other thing is that, like, y'all, police violence enacted on Black people's bodies and the ways that it's just rippling out around our communities, there's no escaping from it. When we're out in the street, you have a fear of who you're going to interact with. You have a fear if you're going to find yourself you have as much terror about being a victim as you have about being a bystander, as honestly in some circumstances you have as being like an upstander in one of those situations. It's always terror out in the streets. Then you come in and your heart is just hurting because you're scared, you're terrified for all the people who have already had to live through this. You hearing stories about Tony McDade, black trans man killed in Miami by the police. Yeah, she was that person. He was a suspect in a stabbing. However, Dylan Roof killed every fucking body, and I killed every motherfucking body. And they took Dylan Roof into custody and couldn't take Tony McDade, this man, into custody peacefully.
They took Dylan Roof into custody and took him to Burger King.
And fed him. Meanwhile, this man Tony McDade is dead.
Even if Tony McDade killed someone, he deserves his day in court. Like we don't get days in court. Like, and the worst part about it is the frustration comes from the helplessness. There's nothing. There is nothing that I can do, that any of us can do, to keep from dying if they decide they want to kill us. If a police officer decides that he don't like my attitude and he wants to kill me, he wants to say that I'm resistant, even in the face of photographic evidence.
Even in the face of photographic evidence, that's just another set of horror. Do you know who filmed George Floyd's death? A 17-year-old Black girl.
Yep.
A little girl. And the last time somebody filmed a motherfucker saying they couldn't breathe, they was in jail and dead and some more shit.
All right, y'all. That's gonna do it for us this week. On behalf of myself, Mr. Richard Douglas Jones, my co-host, Mr. Marcus Seabury.
All right, then.
And Miss Kimber.
Bye.
Thank you all so much for listening. We'll be back next week. Same Black Nerd time, same Black Nerd channel. We out.
Black Nerd Power.